A great day to one and all. Welcome to the September 2023 Licensure Examination for Teachers or Let Review for Math Majors. And this time, we will be having the mid-review. So I prepared 200 items for the mid-review, which spans the coverage for the math majoring part as prescribed by the PRC now, especially for the relatively new, relatively newer TOS or table of specifications. So I hope that each one of us is ready. I hope that the PDF copy of the presentation is ready as well as your answer sheets. And gaya po lang nakagawian natin, for us to pass for tonight, we will be discussing 40 items. And for one to pass, we set the minimum score to be at least 20. So later on, if you got at least 20, then you passed. However, if you got less than 20, then maybe it's also a high time, no, for us to study harder or to be more wise, no, in studying and reviewing po. So I hope we are all ready. And for the directions, for our review, shade the letter of the correct answer before the number, or shade the letter of the correct answer only. If the correct answer is not found among the choices, you have to shade letter E. Okay, let's start with number 1. He was an Indian mathematician who made substantial contributions to mathematical analysis and number theory even without formal training. Who is this person? Is he Ramanujan, Euler, Yashiva, or Punjabi? Okay, according to Sir Chad, Ma'am Kimberly, they answered letter A, which is Ramanujan. Okay, feel free to comment your answer po in our GC. Sir Jason also said yes. Okay, so letter A. And if you answered letter A, you actually are correct. You got it right. Srinivasa Ramanujan was an Indian mathematician. Though he had almost no formal training in pure mathematics, he made substantial contributions to mathematical analysis, number theory, infinite series, and continued fractions, including solutions to mathematical problems then considered unsolvable. Okay, so if you answered A, congratulations. Okay, number 2, he is known as the father of set theory. Who is this person? Is it Cantor, Aristotle, Diophantus, or Gauss? All right, many answered letter A also for number 2. If you answered A, let's see kung tama kayo. First, for Aristotle, he is actually an ancient Greek philosopher and polymath. His writings cover a broad range of subjects. Diophantus was the first Greek mathematician who recognized positive rational numbers as numbers by allowing fractions for coefficients and solutions. Whereas Gauss is a German mathematician, geodesist, and physicist who made significant contributions to many fields in mathematics. The correct answer here is letter A. You might say, most likely, most of my professors would say Georg. Georg Cantor was the first to fully address such an abstract concept, and he did it by developing set theory, which led him to the surprising conclusion that there are infinities of different sizes. The correct answer is letter A. And in fact, no, maybe you have encountered some would say some infinities are larger than other infinities. So we attribute it to Georg Cantor. And besides, I actually agree with Sir Chad. No? In Diophantine equations, it considers integral solutions only. Specifically, usually positive solutions, yung depende po sa context. Good. Good job. Number 3. The equal sign was invented in 1557 by a mathematician named, did you go for A, B, C, or D? Okay, so far, so good. Wow, marami pong sumagot sa atin ng D. If you answered Robert Record, then you are actually correct. Robert Record lived from 1510 to 1558, and he was a Welsh physician and mathematician. He invented the equal sign and also introduced the pre-existing plus and minus signs to English speakers in 1557. Indeed, the correct answer is letter D. Wow. Good job, everyone. Let's proceed to number 4. Which of the following is the Filipino term for radical? Is it A, parirami, B, pangugat, C, palatuusan, or D, pangunahing kabisa? Okay, pangugat, yung sagot ng karamihan sa atin. Let's see if you got it right. Wow, buwan ng wika. Tama, may point. All right. When we say parirami, it is actually square. The correct answer here for radical, it's actually pangugat. You are actually correct. Palatuusan means arithmetic in English, whereas pangunahing kabisa is an exponential function. So if you answered B, be happy, you got it right. All right. So far, so good po mga kaguro. Number 5. Ang parisukat ay halimbawa ng isang, Filipino tayo ngayon. Is it A, pariugat, B, talurami, C, lapyang laraw, or D, talagmitan? Okay, may sumagot ata ng may B, may A, may C. All right. But first and foremost, what are these? Kapag sinabi po nating pariugat, it is actually square root. When we say talurami, it is actually a cube. Kapag sinabi nating lapyang laraw, in English, it's actually a plane figure. And when we say kalagmitan, it means probability. Take note, parisukat in English is square. And square is an example of a plane figure. So therefore, ang parisukat ay halimbawa ng isang letter C, lapyang laraw, or plane figure. So to those who answered C, okay, got it po. Good. All right. I hope we got it right. Number 6. What ancient civilization did math in base 60 instead of base 10? Did you go for Babylonians, Chinese, Hittites, or Akkadians? Okay, if you answered letter A, which is Babylonians, you should be happy you got it right. Why? Ancient Babylonians did math in base 60 instead of base 10. That's why if you could notice po sa ating mga orasan, sa ating clock, sa ating time, that's why we have 60 seconds in a minute, we have 60 minutes in 1 hour, and we have 360 degrees in a circle. And exactly, Ma'am Ayesa, thank you po. It's actually involving what we call a sexagesimal system, as commented by Ma'am Ayesa. So letter A po for number 6. Number 7. Which of the following is the fundamental theorem of arithmetic? Okay, tingnan po ninyo dito. Did you go for A, B, C, or D? Okay, so far, we have a lot of you who answered D, although some of them have question marks. But let's see if D is right. If you have letter A, every polynomial equation of degree n with complex number coefficients has n roots or solutions in the complex numbers. It is actually the fundamental theorem of algebra attributed to Carl Gauss. Letter B, there are no natural numbers, x, y, and z, such that x raised to n plus y raised to n equals z raised to n. in which n is a natural number greater than 2 is actually Fermat's last theorem. For letter C, any prime number p divides p minus 1 quantity factorial plus 1, where, okay, in this case po, no, this is actually known as Wilson's theorem. Okay? And letter D, yun po yung tamang sagot. That is, any integer greater than 1 is either a prime number or can be written as a unique product of prime numbers. So letter D po yung tamang sagot. All right. It's okay po, Sir Chad. No worries po. All right. So far, so good. Number 8. Who is this Greek mathematician who is often referred to as the father of geometry for his revolutionary ideas and influential textbook called Elements that he wrote around the year 300 BC? Was it Plato, Aristotle, Euclid, or Hipparchus? Okay, I think this guy is very popular among us. If you answered letter C, Euclid is correct. The Greek mathematician Euclid is often referred to as the father of geometry. So letter C po ang tamang sagot. Okay, good job everyone. Mukhang marami yata yung makaka-perfect ngayon, or at least would get at least 20. And that's what we are looking forward to. Number 9. Suppose you will draw some equilateral triangles with x layers. If the pattern is continued, how many unit triangles will be needed or will there be for 10 layers? Did you go for 45, B 50, letter C 80, or D 100? Wow! Marami po sa atin ang convinced na letter D po yung sagot. Okay, so I'm just curious, ano kayang pattern yung nakita ninyo? Oh, that's nice to know. Our neighbor's cat's name is Euclid. Wow, Ma'am Tricia, sana all. Okay, according to Vasquez TL, it's A sub n equals n squared. For Sir Chad, it's K equals n squared. And squares are involved, sabi po ni Ma'am Ayesa. Let's see po if you are right. For one layer, meron pong isang unit triangle dito, but one could be expressed as 1 squared. For a figure with 2 layers, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 individual or unit triangles, but 4 could be expressed as 2 squared. For 3 layers, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them, but 9 could be expressed as 3 squared, right? That's why kung ating pong mapapansin, kung 1 layer, 1 squared, yung number of triangles. For 2 layers, 2 squared. For 3 layers, meron pong 3 squared number of individual or unit triangles. That's why if we will follow the pattern that for 10 layers, there are exactly 10 squared or 100 unit triangles, letter D. Good job. Yeah? So dito po, pattern finding is very important. Once we discern the pattern, this one will be quite easier for. Exactly. I agree with also that, Sir Chad, no? But the sum of the first n odd numbers starting from 1 is equal to n squared po. Salamat. Okay. Tama. So, punta po tayo sa number 10. 20 regular hexagons, each having a 1 centimeter side, are placed side by side as shown. What do you think is its perimeter? Did you go for A, 82, B, 84, C, 88, or D, 90? I'm just curious po, no? Maybe some of us really draw the entire figure. I'm not sure. But actually, there's actually a pattern here po. And the pattern here, let's see kung tama po yung letter A. The pattern here is, okay, for n plus 2 daw, sabi ni Teacher Vasquez TL. Okay. Lalaki po ba o babae? Okay. That's why para ma-address po. Okay. But actually, I did not use any specific conjecture or formula. What I did was some sort of logic. Kung ating pong mapapansin, no, kapag yung dalawa sa gitna, yung dalawang nasa gilid, ito po, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 po yung bibilangin dito. The one here that's adjacent no sa isa pang side ng isa pang hexagon ay hindi po counted yan. So 5 dito po sa pinaka-left. Dito naman po sa pinaka-right, we have 1, 2, 5 din. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 ito. That's why 2 times 5 cm, 10 cm. And if we could see po, meron pong ilang hexagon sa gitna. From here, excluding po yung 2 ends, meron bang ilang hexagons na nasa gitna? Ilan sila? There are 18 of them. Tama po, which I agree. Kasi nga, excluding yung dalawa, no? So, 18 po sila. Sa 18 na to, yung binibilang po ay apat lang. Bakit apat? 1, 2, 3, 4. Dito, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hindi po natin bibilangin yung dalawang side na magkadikit sa ibang hexagons. That's why there are 18 of them and each will have 4 cm na ika-count natin sa kanila. And 18 times 4 cm is 72 cm. To get the total, we have to add the 2. And that's why we get 10 cm plus 72 cm, which is 82 cm. The correct answer is letter A. I hope you got 82 cm correctly. Letter A. All right. 11. Ants emerge from their hole at the top of the wire grid and always walk downwards, never upwards or sidewards. Along the grid, how many possible paths are there until they reach the base? Did you go for 8, 10, 14, or 16? So, yung halimbawa po nito, pwede siyang ganito, no? Pwedeng left, 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 left. Pwede ring left, right, left, right. Pwede ring left, left, right, right. Pwede ring right, right, left, left. So, kung lahat po ito ay ating inonote, ilan kaya lahat? Okay, I could see we are divided. Merong sumagot ng C, meron din pong sumagot ng D. If you answered C or D, okay, tingnan po natin kung sino po yung tama sa inyo. Actually, if you could see here po, no, the ant can have 2 ways each time. Halimbawa, kung nandito po siya sa top, it could go either left or right. That's why meron siyang 2 options. Kapag nandito siya, halimbawa, may 2 options din, either going left or right. Halimbawa, nandito siya, meron ding 2 options, either left or right. Or kapag nandito siya pumunta, meron siyang left or right din. So ilang paths ba? 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, kailangan niya ng 4 steps, I mean. Sa bawat steps niya, meron siyang 2 ways. And remember, by the fundamental counting principle, thank you po, Sir Chad, we are actually going to multiply 2, 2, 2, and 2 because at each step niya, merong 2 possible ways. So 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 is 16. So therefore, even if you list everything, I'm sure that there are 16 possible paths. Letter D. I hope na nakuha po natin. Number 12. At the right is a billiard ball triangle of 5 layers. How many billiard balls are there in 8 layers? So will there be 28, 36, 45, or 54? Okay. So when we say layers po, ito, ganito po ako. Ito, first layer, 1 layer, 2 layer, third layer, fourth layer. So, may mali ata tayo. 4 layers pala ito. Saglit lang po. Okay, I stand corrected. Meron lang palang 4 layers dito. So how about if we continue the pattern at merong 8 layers? Let's see kung 28, 36, 45, or 54 nga ba. So, notice nyo po, kung meron kayong 4 layers, we have 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. So kung meron kang 8 layers, I do agree with Sir Jomar na that would be if there are actually n balls in the nth layer from top to bottom. So therefore, if we follow the pattern, dahil meron tayong 8 layers, so we are actually expecting 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8. And if you add them, it will actually give you 36. Bakit 36? Kasi ito po yung ginawa ko, di ba? 1 plus 8, 9. If you add the second and second to the last, 2 plus 7, that will be 9. The third and the third to the last, 3 plus 6, 9. 4 plus 5, 9. Ilang 9 po meron? Ilang 9 meron tayo? Meron tayong 4 na 9, right? Thank you po. And with such, that's why 4 times 9 gives us 36 balls in 8 layers of these triangles. Therefore, letter B. I hope you got it. Salamat po. And that's actually correct, no? Teacher Vasquez, I'm not sure if you are male or female. That is the sum of the first n natural numbers from 1 to n. That is n times n plus 1 all over 2. Tama po. It's in fact based on the arithmetic series formula. 13. This is a part of a mathematical investigation paper that may contain recommendations for other investigators. Is it conjectures, proving, summary, or possible extensions? Sabi ni Ma'am Suzette, letter D. Okay. Marami din sa atin yung sumagot ng D. Meron din sumagot ng boy, may apple. Parang lahat yata may sumagot na option, maliban lang sa letter C. No? So, A, B, or D kaya? Okay, tingnan po natin. Actually, if you answered letter A, conjectures, I'm sorry, hindi po tama. Conjectures is a possible answer to the problem being investigated. So sa part ng paper na to, parang diniderive, kinukuha mo na yung formula or yung the possible function, no, na that answers your question. If you answered B, proving part, I'm sorry, it's also incorrect. The proving part or the justification part, it's showing that the conjecture, if you are actually trying to show, no, that the conjecture is true for certain domains mo of your investigation. So I'm sorry, B is not correct. If you answered letter C, summary, I'm sorry, it is also incorrect. The summary part of the paper, of the mathematical investigation paper, states the salient or the important points of your investigation, and it gives you a gist of what the investigation is about, of the processes you did. And the correct answer is actually possible extensions, letter D. Possible extensions part is a part of the mathematical investigation paper that may contain recommendations for other investigators. Kung sa thesis po natin, para siyang recommendations part. Para siyang recommendations, no, na bahagi ng ating chapter 5. So letter D po yung tamang sagot. Wow, grabe. May genocide, ewan ko na lang. May ligwak, yehey. may nagsabing chamba. Thank you sa guardian angel. Sana po, Ma'am Ayesa. But actually, it's okay, no? Yung mahalaga po ay natututo po tayo. So letter D po yung ating tamang sagot. All right. 14. A learner was able to note the following number patterns: 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, and so on. What function most likely describes his data set? Is it arithmetic, linear, exponential, or quadratic? Okay, let's see if it's exponential. If you are able to see the pattern, 2 could be expressed as 2 raised to 1. 4 could be expressed as 2 squared. 8 could be expressed as 2 cubed. 16 is 2 raised to 4th. 32 is 2 to the 5th. Di po ba? So kung inyo pong mapapansin, no, parang yung base po natin ay fixed siya na 2. Okay? And yung exponent niya lang, it's either 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's the set of consecutive natural numbers. It seems that the exponential function f of x equals 2 raised to x works here. Letter C, exponential function. It is also exponential in the sense that your base is a constant and your exponent is a variable. So which is this one is an example of a form of an exponential function. So letter C. Okay. 15. What polynomial function describes the table of values shown? Is it linear, quadratic, cubic, or quartic? When we say linear, it's degree 1, quadratic degree 2, cubic is degree 3, and quartic is degree 4. Okay, may sumagot ng B, quadratic. Sabi ni Ma'am Kimberly. Sabi rin ni Ma'am Suzette, letter A daw. Okay. Okay. So what do you think po? Okay, so let's answer this. If we could see po, no, yung sa itaas, yung kanilang x values, 2 minus 1, 1, 3 minus 2 is 1, 4 minus 3, 1, 5 minus 4, 1. There is a constant difference of 1 po sa ating x coordinates. Now, let's notice let's subtract the y coordinates. From the 5 minus 2 will give you 3. 10 minus 5 gives you 5. 17 minus 10 will give you 7. 26 minus 17 gives you 9. These 3, 5, 7, and 9 are what we call the first differences sa y po natin. So you notice po ninyo na yung first differences po are not equal. But if we will get the differences of the first differences, we will arrive to the second differences. If you could see 5 minus 3, 2, 7 minus 5, 2, 9 minus 7, 2. And if this is the case, notice nyo po na second differences are equal. And I do agree with Sir Chad. If the second differences in the y's are equal, then this is actually telling us that the given function is quadratic by nature. Letter B. Ito po yung technique. Kung first differences equal, linear po yan. Kung second differences yung nag-equal, quadratic po yan or degree 2. Kung hindi po siya nag-equal dyan, you may keep doing it po. Pag nag-equal yung third differences, cubic equation po yan. At saka kung hindi pa siya nag-equal, continue mo ulit. Sa ika-fourth, nag-equal na sila, quartic po yan o fourth degree equation for sure. So anyway, letter B. Let's proceed to number 16. To prove P implies Q, a mathematician assumed not Q and arrived to not P. What do you call this type of proof? Okay. We have letter B, which is proof by contrapositive. Letter C is proof by contradiction. Actually, B and C are actually different po. Magkaiba po sila. The correct answer here is actually letter letter B. In mathematics, proof by contrapositive or proof by contraposition is a rule inference in which where one infers a conditional statement from its contrapositive. Halimbawa po, if you have the implication statement A implies B, babalik ta rin mo. Ay gagawin mo siyang contrapositive. That is, if not B, then not A. So letter B po. Yung proof by contradiction, yung letter C, iba po yun. So yung proof by contradiction naman po is, you will arrive to some statements that are contradicting one another. So iba po yun. So the correct answer is letter B. I hope nakuha po natin. Okay. 17. Tama. Exactly po, Sir Chad. Tama po yan. So for you to arrive to the contrapositive, you negate first each of the P and Q, then take its converse. 17. If A minus B equals 10 and A plus B equals 24, what's the value of AB or their product? Did you go for 119, 114, 110, or 105? Okay, letter A, let's see. Marami pong paraan upang gawin to. Yung ginagawa ng iba, substitution, pwede ring elimination. Yung sa aking ginawa po ay substitution. Ito po yung ginawa ko. For the first equation, A minus B equals 10, I added B both sides. So this negative B became plus B here. So I have A equals B plus 10. Then, di ba yung second equation po natin ay A plus B equals 24. So yung ginawa ko po is, I substituted, di ba, A is equal to B plus 10. In the second equation, this A was replaced by B plus 10 to come up with B plus 10 plus B equals 24. Then, simplifying the left side, yung B plus B magiging 2B. Tapos, yung plus 10 na to, naging minus 10 sa kabila. So, 24 minus 10 will give you 14. So, if 2B is equal to 14, dividing both sides by 2 will give you B equals 7. At dahil alam na po natin yung value ng B which is 7, we can substitute it back to, I substituted it into A equals B plus 10. So replacing B with 7, that would be A equals 7 plus 10, which means A is 17. And thus AB is equal to 17 times 7, which is 119. Letter A. Okay. Take note po, marami pong paraan upang gawin to. In my case, I look for the numbers before getting their product. But Sir Chad, squaring, subtracting, dividing by 4, you could also do that. You may try. All right. 18. Use the recursive formula A sub n equals A sub n minus 1 plus 2, given A sub 1 equals 13 to determine A sub 4. Did you go for 14, 15, 19, or 20? Wow, convinced. Grabe sila. Letter C, 19 daw. Tingnan po natin. In this one, if to determine A sub 4, kasi recursive formula po yung ginamit kailangan muna nating i-determine si A sub 2. At saka si A sub 3 bago si A sub 4. With this po, diba, replace po natin yung, to solve for A sub 2, we will replace n by 2. That would be A sub 2 equals A sub 2 minus 1. Yung 2 minus 1 ay magiging A sub 1 lang po dito, plus 2. Pero kung titingnan nyo po, ano po ba yung value ni A sub 1? Anong value ni A sub 1? That is, di ba 13 siya? So by substitution, A sub 1 will be replaced by 13, and that's A sub 2 is equal to 13 plus 2, which is 15. So the second term, or A sub 2, is 15. We can now solve for A sub 3. For A sub 3, yung n mo dito, di ba yung subscript niya 3? So sa form na to, lahat ng n ay papalitan po natin ng 3. With such, ito ay magiging A sub 3 equals A sub 2 plus 2. And kung makikita po natin, di ba, sa previous po, we know that a sub 2 is 15. Replacing a sub 2 by 15 will give you a sub 3 equals 15 plus 2 or 17. And dahil alam na po natin yung third term, malalaman din na po natin yung fourth term. So a sub 4, no? Replace po natin yung n by 4. And that will give us, remember, if this is 4, 4 minus 1 will be 3. That's why you have a sub 4 is equal to a sub 4 plus equals a sub 3 plus 2. Pero yung a sub 3 po natin ay 17. Replacing a sub 3 by 17 gives us a sub 4 equals 17 plus 2 or 19. Letter C. And I agree again with Sir Chad, no? This is the recursive formula of a sequence. Letter C. 19. Given the arithmetic sequence with the first term of -10 and fifth term of 2, find the 14th term. Is it 15, 19, 25, or 29? All right. We'll see. From here, actually, it's known that a sub 1 is -10 and a sub 5 is 2. We're looking for a sub 14. From here, we need to solve for the common difference po muna. Knowing na, I hope you could still remember the explicit form of an arithmetic sequence, which is a sub n equals a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d. Kung inyo pong mapapansin, no? So in for a sub 5, di ba? Kung ano po yung subscript nyo dito, yan din po yung value ng n. So for a sub 5 equals 2, it's understood here that your n is actually 5. That's why I replaced all n's. All n's here will be replaced by 5. And that will give us a sub 5 equals a sub 1 plus 5 minus 1 times d. Or that's a sub 5 equals a sub 1 plus 4d. And now we can do some substitution. That is, di ba yung a sub 5 po natin ay 2? At saka yung a sub 1 po natin ay -10. With that, we have 2 equals -10 plus 4d. Adding both sides by 10, we have 12 equals 4d. And dividing both sides by 3 will give us 4. I mean 3. Sorry, dividing both sides by 4, I mean. We get the value of our common difference of 3. So dahil alam na po natin, no, meron na po tayong first term na -10 and a common difference of 3, we can now determine the 14th term, knowing that n here will be 14. So that would be, by substitution, a sub 14 is equal to the first term, which is -10, plus n mo 14. 14 minus 1 times the common difference, which is 3. 14 minus 1 is 13. 13 times 3 is 39. And a sub 14 equals -10 plus 39, which is 29. Letter D. Wow, many got it right. Congratulations. Sana all po. Let's go to 20. How many odd numbers are there between 18 and 114? Did you go for 46, 47, 48, or 49? Okay. Duda lang ako, baka yung iba sa atin naglista talaga. Hindi ko alam. Joke, pero lang po. Tignan po natin kung tama yung letter A na 46 o yung letter C na 48. O baka wala dyan ang tamang sagot. Tignan po natin. Dito po, di ba yung mga odd numbers lang naman? And we know that odd numbers, no, end with any of 1, 3, 5, 7, or 9. So if we have the list, it's actually 19, 21, 23, and so on, all the way 113. And if you could see po, this is actually an arithmetic sequence because they have a common difference of 2. And let's see if Sir Chad is right. The first term here, or a sub 1, is 19. Tama po. Kasi ito po yung unang term sa sequence natin. You are adding 2 all throughout. That's why your common difference is 2. We don't know po kung ano yung ilang term yung 113, but what we know is that 113 is the last term. So for the meantime, A7 is 113. And we are looking for the value of n. So yung alam sila. I mean yung number of terms pala yung n. So applying it again in the arithmetic sequence formula, in the explicit form of an arithmetic sequence, by substitution, we have 113 equals 19 plus the quantity n minus 1 times 2. And what I did next po, I subtracted both sides by 19. So yung 19 na to magiging minus sa kabila. 113 minus 19 is 94. And I just copied the n minus 1 times 2. After which, what I did is I divided both sides by 2, no? Para, yung iba kasi yung ginagawa nila, minumultiply yung 2. No problem, tama po yun. But in my case, I just divided both sides by 2 to simplify it. So that would be 94 divided by 2, 47 equals. The right-hand side when divided by 2 is n minus 1. And adding 1 both sides gives you n as 48. Therefore, there are 48 odd numbers between 18 and 114, letter C. All right. And that concludes the first 20 items. Thank you very much. Let's move on to item number 21. Write the letter of the correct. Okay, so let's have item 21. Same pa rin po. What is the solution set of x cubed minus x squared minus 6x equals 0? Did you go for A, B, C, or D? Okay, I could see a lot of C's. Let's see kung tama kayo mga sis and brothers. Okay, so what I did here po is, I knew nun, yung sa left-hand side po natin, the right-hand side is 0, no problem. But yung sa left side po natin ay lahat sila merong variable. That's why yung technique po dito is by factoring out GCF. And you could see, no? So the GCF po nilang lahat ay x. So factoring out x, sa left side, we have x times the quantity x squared minus x minus 6 equals 0 po. And kung nakikita po ninyo, meron po tayong quadratic trinomial na x squared minus x minus 6. Ano po yung factors ng x squared minus x minus 6 po? Okay, ano po yung factors niya? Okay, I agree with Sir Chad, which is x minus 3 times the quantity x plus 2. That's why the left side is factorable as x times x minus 3 times x plus 2 equals 0 po. And equating each factor to 0, but we are actually using what we call the zero property of multiplication. That is, if their product is 0, it could mean that any of these factors is equal to 0. That's why, so the first one is x equals 0, which means 0 is one of them. X minus 3 equals 0, which means 3 is one of the roots. X plus 2 equals 0 means negative 2 is one of the roots. Letter C ang tamang sagot. All right. And okay po, if the discriminant is a positive perfect square, okay, so it's actually telling you, no, that having a discriminant that is a positive perfect square would imply, no, that your roots are real, rational, and unequal sa x squared minus x minus 6 po. Okay. Next, a box contains red, blue, and yellow marbles in the ratio 4:5:7, respectively. And if there are 175 yellow marbles, how many balls are there in all? Many answered A, Let's see if you got it right. For this one, di ba, yung yellow, kasi 4 to 5 to 7, so yellow marbles is 7 parts. And this 175 yellow marbles is just 7 parts of the whole thing. That's why I placed here 7 parts equals 175. Because we have the assumption here that each part contains the same number of marbles. So dividing both sides by 7 to get the value of one part. So one part is actually 175 divided by 7 or 25 marbles. Pero tandaan po natin, sa given po natin, di ba, 4:5:7 po sila. Which means na if we will determine the total number of parts in a whole, that would be 4 plus 5 plus 7 or 16. So 16 parts po lahat-lahat at bawat part merong 25 marbles. That's why we have 16 times 25 or a total of 400 marbles, letter A po. All right, so far, so good. 23. If the point 37 lies in the line y equals mx plus 1, find m. Okay, ano pong sagot? 1, 2, 3, or 4? All right, may sumagot yung B. And actually, there's an easy approach here, no? Remember, in a point in a Cartesian plane, the first number is x and the second number is y. So we will replace x by 3 and y by 7 po. And that gives us 7 equals m times 3 plus 1. M times 3 is 3m. So we have here 7 equals 3m plus 1. Subtract 1 both sides will give you 6 equals 3m. And dividing both sides by 3, 6 divided by 3 will be 2, and 3m divided by 3 will be m. Therefore, the value of m is letter B, which is 2. Good job. 24. When P of x is divided by x minus 3, the quotient is x squared plus 2x minus 1, and the remainder is 1. What is P of x? Did you go for A, B, C, or D? Sir Chad answered letter C daw. Sir Jason, Ma'am Trish answered D. Same with Crispin, Sir Crispin with Sir Jomar answered A. It seems na iba-iba po yung sagot natin dito. Pero tandaan po natin ha, meron po tayong dapat tandaan. No? So if you have a polynomial function, that is the given polynomial or your dividend, no, is equal to your divisor times the quotient, and the product of the divisor and quotient should be added by your remainder. I hope nakuha po natin. And by substitution po, the values, alam po natin yung dividend, yung quotient, at saka remainder. Hinahanap po natin yung P of x. So with that, we have P of x equals the product of x minus 3 and x squared plus 2x minus 1. And it's added by 1. If we will do that, if we multiply the binomial and this trinomial, you will have this. Bakit ganon? Diba? Distributive property. X times x squared will be x cubed. X times 2x will be plus 2x squared. X times negative 1 will be negative x. Negative 3 times x squared will be negative 3x squared. Negative 3 times 2x will be negative 6x. Negative 3 times negative 1 will be plus 3 or positive 3. Then I'll just copy the plus 1. And combining like terms po, wala pong x cubed will be copied. 2x squared minus 3x squared is negative x squared. Negative x minus 6x is negative 7x. Then 3 plus 1 will be plus 4. Indeed, if you answered letter D, which is x cubed minus x squared minus 7x plus 4, you got it right po. All right. Sige lang po, laban lang. Okay, hello newbie po, late na po. Okay po, welcome po Ma'am Julie. Letter D. 25. Find the value of k So that x plus 1 is a factor of x to the fourth minus 4x cubed minus x plus k. Is it A, -7, B, -6, C, 6, or D, 7? Okay, humula daw si Ma'am Suzette. Okay. Marami pong sumagot ng B. So far, sa lahat ng nag-comment, B po yung sagot, which is -6. Okay? B daw. All right. Let's see. Tandaan po natin ha, we can actually implore here what we call the factor theorem. That is, in this case, if x plus 1 is a factor of this polynomial p of x, then equate mo po yung binomial na to. X plus 1 equals 0, which means x equals -1, di po ba? Then, kapag yung x ng ating polynomial ay papalitan natin ng -1, dapat, kung factor siya, yung remainder niya 0. Kasi kung ano man po yung ni-replace mo na number dito, kung ano man po yung lalabas, yan po yung remainder niya. But remember, if x plus 1 is a factor of p of x, dapat po 0 yung remainder. That's why p of -1 should be equal to 0. So replacing all x's here of your p of x by -1, we have p of -1 equals -1 to the fourth minus 4 times -1 cubed minus -1 plus k should be equal to 0. -1 to the fourth is 1. -1 cubed will be -1. -4 times -1 will be nandito po siya, which is plus 4. Negative of -1 will be plus 1 and plus k equals 0. 1 plus 4 plus 1 is 6. So we have here 6 plus k equals 0. And therefore, subtracting both sides by 6 gives you k equals -6. So if you answered letter B po, you got it right. -6. All right. 26. If -10 minus 5r is greater than or equal to -40, what is the largest integer value of r? Is it 6, 7, 8, or 9? Okay, 9 daw. Okay. Let's see if you got it right. If you have this inequality, no, we will add +10 both sides. The goal is to isolate the term with the variable. So adding 10 both sides will give you -5r is greater than or equal to -30. Now, di ba? Anong next natin gagawin? Magdi-divide tayo both sides ng -5. But remember po ha, we are dealing with inequalities. And alam po natin na kapag nagdi-divide po tayo ng negative both sides o nagmumultiply po tayo ng negative, if we multiply or divide by a negative number both sides, dapat alam po natin na yung sign ay nagre-reverse. Nababaliktad po siya. So kung greater than magiging less than, yung less than ay magiging greater than. That's why dividing both sides by -5 actually gives you r. So -5, r divided by -5 will be r. -30 divided by -5 will be 6. But the greater than or equal symbol becomes less than or equal symbol. So r should be less than or equal to 6. And remember, lahat ng numbers na less than or equal to 6. This means that the largest of all of them will be 6 because the rest of the numbers in the solution set of this will all be less than 6. That's why letter A, yung tamang sagot. Okay, nag-trial and error daw si Ma'am Julie. Sana all. Okay, no worries po. Thank you. Letter A po. I hope na nakuha po natin. 27. Twice a certain number is the average of 7/4 and 7/8. What is the number? Did you go for A, B, C, or D? Trial and error. Sana all. Okay. Okay, letter A daw. May sumagot ng B for 27. Alright, let's see po kung tama kayo. Sabi niya ha, twice a certain number is the average of 7/4 and 7/8. Let's say we don't know that number yet. Let's represent that number by x. Sabi niya twice a certain number eh. So let that be 2x. At saka 'di ba kapag kinukuha mo yung average o mean ng dalawang numbers, ina-add mo sila tapos nagdi-divide ka ng 2. If you divide by 2, it's the same thing when you are multiplying with 1/2, di po ba? So that's why 2x is equal to 1/2 the sum of 7/4 and 7/8. All right, let's see. So with that, what I did next was I multiplied both sides by 2 para ma-clear po yung fraction na to. 2x times 2 is 4x. Dito po, 1/2 times 2 will be 1. That's why yung natira po will be the sum of 7/4 and 7/8. And expressing them in similar fraction form, yung LCD po nila ay 8, no? That's why yung 8 divided by 4 will be 2. 2 times 7 will be 14 po, yung kanyang numerator, plus 7/8. 14/8 plus 7/8, when simplified, because they're similar fractions, we have to copy the common denominator and add their numerators. And 14 plus 7 is 21. So 4x equals 21 over 8. Dividing both sides by 4, that gives us x equals 21 over 8 divided by 4, which is 21 over 32. Ang tamang sagot po ay letter A. Alright. Magaling, magaling, magaling. But if your answer is B, sige lang po, laban lang. Yung mahalaga po is na-correct po natin. 28. 28. In 6 years, Carmela will be thrice as old as she was 10 years ago. How old was Carmela 10 years ago? Did you go for 9, 8, 7, or 5? Okay. Sabi ng karamihan sa inyo is letter B. May sumagot ng D, mayroon ding C. Parang A lang yata yung D sinagot ng iba. Tingnan po natin. Tingnan po natin. May sinasuggest na equation si Ma'am Trish. Tingnan po natin kung tama siya. So let's say we don't know the age yet of Carmela. So let X be the age, no? In years of Carmela now. So in 6 years, yung magiging age niya is X plus 6. Yung age niya 10 years ago will be X minus 10. Pero sabi po kasi sa problem, yung age niya 6 years from now, which is X plus 6, will be thrice the age niya 10 years ago, which is thrice of the quantity X minus 10. That's why, Ma'am Trish, tama po kayo. The working equation here is X plus 6 equals 3 times the quantity X minus 10. Multiplying both, that is distributing the 3, no? Inopya ko lang po yung left side. 3 times X will be 3X. 3 times negative 10 will be negative 30. Next, this negative 30 became plus 30 sa left side. So 6 plus 30 naging 36. Yung X na to naging negative X sa right side. So 3X minus X will be 2X. That's why 36 equals 2X. Or that would be dividing both sides by 2 gives us X equals 18. However, yung tinatanong po kasi is ano yung edad niya 10 years ago. If 18 is her age now, so 10 years ago, she would have been 18 minus 10 or 8 years old. So yes, letter B po yung tamang sagot. Sana all. Alright, moving on po tayo. Kailangan po nating mag-move on, okay? Kasi kung di pa po tayo nag-move on, tayo lang po yung masasaktan talaga. 29. If T varies directly as A, and inversely as k, and t equals 1 when a equals 1 and k equals 8, find t when a equals 9 and k equals 5. All right, variation problem po tayo. All right. So, kasi nga 'di ba, sabi t varies directly ano nga 'yan? T varies directly as a. Kung directly, lagay po natin siya sa numerator. Kung inversely, lagay po natin sa denominator. That's why t is equal to a, kasi varies directly siya, equals sa numerator, over k, kasi varies indirectly siya dyan. And see here, by the way, no, for the information of everybody, C here refers to the constant of variation. So we don't know yet what the constant of variation is. There are many ways of solving this problem. Let's solve this in one way lang po muna. By substitution, sa first given po natin, sabi, t was 1 when a is 6 and k is 8. That's why by substitution, 1 equals 6/8 equals c. I mean, 1 equals 6/8 times c. Then I simplified the 6/8, no? I simplified it into 3/4. So 1 is equal to 3/4 of c. And multiplying both sides by 4/3 na lang po to get the value of c. I agree with Sir Chad, no? That c, or our constant of variation, should be equal to 4/3. Dahil meron na tayong c na 4/3, we will now replace this c in the variation equation. We will now replace c with 4/3. With such, we arrive to the equation t equals 4a all over 3k. I hope na nakuha po natin. But we are not done yet. Sabi kasi sa problem, di ba? Find the value of t if a is 9 and if k is 5. So by substitution po ulit, we have t equals 4 times 9 all over 3 times 5, which when simplified will give you t equals 12/5. Letter C. I hope na nakuha po natin. So sa lahat ng sumagot ng C, good job. But if not, it's okay. It's a learning experience for everyone. 30. Given f of x equals 2x squared minus 3 and g of x equals 3x plus 1, what's f of g of x? Okay. Did you answer A, B, or C? Okay, many answered A. Kapag sinabi po nating f of g of x, mga kaguro, it means na, di ba, yung sa loob g of x, we know that g of x is 3x plus 1. That's why f of g of x will become f of 3x plus 1. And what does this mean? Na yung variable x ng f of x ay papalitan po natin ng 3x plus 1. That's why the x here will be replaced by 3x plus 1 po. And that will be f of g of x equals 2 times the square of the quantity 3x plus 1. And the whole thing will be subtracted by 3. Squaring this binomial, di ba? To square a binomial, first you square the first term. 3x quantity squared will be 9x squared. Twice the product of the first and second term. 2 times 3x times 1 will be plus 6x. Dahil plus dito, dapat plus din yung sa middle term po natin. Then, square of the last term, plus 1. So, the rest were just copied. Then, what we will do next is we will distribute po yung 2 na to each of the terms ng ating trinomial. So, 2 times 9x squared will be 18x squared. 2 times 6x will be plus 12x. 2 times 1 will be plus 2. Pero meron pang minus 3 dito. We can no longer simplify this except for the 2 minus 3 part, which is negative 1, di po ba? Therefore, our final answer here is 18x squared plus 12x minus 1, which is letter A. Correct. Nice. I hope na nakuha po natin. 31. What is the range of f of x equals 3x minus 5 equal all over 2x minus 8? Is it A, y not equal to 2, B, y not equal to 3, C, y not equal to 2/3, or D, y is not equal to 3 halves? Grabe kayo, unanimous ata yung mga nagko-comment na letter D. Exactly. Meron po tayong inverse function method. Tama po yan. Pero yung ginamit ko po is not inverse function method. Yung ginamit ko po ay I solve for y. I solve for x in terms of y. In fact, pwede rin calculus to eh. Or kung parehas po yung, ito po yung, okay, sige. Let's do the long method first. Let f of x be equal to y. So, yeah, kinopya ko lang po siya. Pinalitan ko lang yung f of x ng y. So, y equals 3x minus 5 all over 2x minus 8. I multiplied both sides by 2x minus 8 to clear off the fractions. So, y times 2x will be 2xy. Y times negative 8 will be negative 8y equals 3x minus 5. Then, yung ginawa ko po is, lahat ng may x, nilagay ko sa left side. Lahat ng walang x, pupunta sa right side. That's why ito po, no? Yung 2xy, may x siya, so stay siya dyan. Yung 3x na to, ay naging negative 3x po sa left side. Yung negative 5, kinopya ko lang dito. Pero yung negative 8y, kasi wala siyang x, so I added both sides by 8y. That's why 8y minus 5 po yung sa left side. So with that, next po, yung ginawa ko is, notice nyo, no, meron siyang common factor na x, yung left side po natin. So factoring by the greatest common factor sa left side, pinalabas ko po yung x. 2xy divided by x will be 2y, and negative 3x divided by x will be negative 3. That's why yan po yung ginawa ko to arrive to this equation so far. And since I'm only after of the value of x, I divided both sides by 2y minus 3. And I have x is equal to 8y minus 5 all over 2y minus 3. Remember po that for x to be a real number, the denominator, di ba dapat yung denominator mo na 2y minus 3 ay hindi siya dapat 0? That's why if we equate, no, the 2y minus 3 should not be 0. So I added both sides for 2y minus 3 not equal to 0. I added both sides by 3. So 2y is not equal to 3. Dividing both sides by 2 gives us y is not equal to 3 halves. Thus, the range of the set of all real numbers is the set of all real numbers except lang po sa 3 halves. Letter D. I hope na nakuha po natin. In relation po sa ating calculus, no, or sa ating analytic geometry din, ito po yung parang horizontal asymptote ng graph ng function na to. All right. Exactly. I do agree with you as well, Sir Vasquez. Sir, but are you a sir or are you a ma'am? Vasquez TL. Sorry po. Okay. Ma'am, okay. Noted po. And actually po, tama po yung ginawa nyo. Ito po yung ipinagbabawal na technique. Pero hindi siya pinagbabawal talaga. Ganito po ha. Ganito po. If you have a rational function and the degree of the numerator is equal to the degree of your denominator, then the range is a set of all real numbers except for the ratio of their leading coefficients. Notice nyo po 3 yung leading coefficient dito, 2 din po yung leading coefficient sa denominator, 2 yung leading coefficient ng denominator, 3 divided by 2. So y could be anything except 3 halves. Yan po yung ipinagbabawal na technique. But don't worry, it's actually proven by calculus po. That's why I do agree with you, Ma'am Vasquez. Yan din ginawa ko sa X ko, sir. Pinalabas ko. Ikaw, ma'am, ha, nakakaano ka na, humuhugot ka na naman dyan. But actually, ma'am, deserve na yan. Char lang. Joke lang po. Dumako po tayo sa item number 31. Yes, Sir Chad, yes, Naruto po tayo ngayon. Hindi na Naruto. Nasaktan lang paminsan-minsan ng ilang beses pala, hindi na Naruto. Okay, if for a function, f of x plus y is equal to f of x plus times f of y, and f of 2 equals 3, did you go for f? What is f of 6? Okay, letter A daw. I'm wondering, ano kayang ginawa ninyo? Kasi ako, ito po yung ginawa ko. Yan, lumabas na siya agad. Di ba, f of x plus y means, in this function, no? F of x plus y is equal to f of x times f of y. We know that f of 2 is 3. So, yung gagawin po natin ganito. So, palitan ko muna yung x. Let's say, ito lang yung info eh. Palitan ko yung x at saka ng y ng 2. So, f of 2 plus 2, by using this rule, magiging f of 2 times f of 2 po siya. But 2 plus 2 is 4. So, f of 4 is equal to f, di ba? F of 4 is equal to f of 2 times f of 2. Pero anong value ni f of 2? Di ba 3? That's why f of 2 was replaced by 3. The right side is 3 times 3. So f of 4 is equal to 3 times 3, which is 9. Tama po. So I know that f of 2 is 3 and that f of 4 is now 9. What's next? Yung ginawa ko po is, di ba goal po natin is f of 6. So yung ginawa ko, I have f of 2 plus 4, which becomes f of 2 times f of 4. We know that 2 plus 4 po is 6 eh. That's why f of 6 becomes f of 2 times f of 4. But I know that f of 2 is 3. And we also know that f of 4 is 9. That's why f of 6 is 3 times 9, which is 27. Letter A po. Okay, may tanong po? Kung may tanong po kayo, wag po kayong mahiyang magtanong, ha? Thank you po. I hope it's okay po. I hope na naintindihan po ninyo ako, yung explanation natin. Salamat po. Yeah, exactly, no? Parang tatlong f of 2. Pero in this case, we really have to follow the function po. 33. An equilateral triangle and square both have the same perimeter. If the square has an area of 144 square units, what is the area of the triangle in square units? Did you go for A, 64 square root of 3, B, 64 square root of 2, C, 128 square root of 2, or D, 144? Okay, letter A yung sagot nyo. Let's see kung tama po. Since we know that the area of the square is s squared equals 144, getting the principal square root both sides gives us the value of the side of a square, which is 12. So since the side length is 12 units, we know that the perimeter is just 4 times 12 or 48 kasi equal naman po yung apat na sides ng square. Eh. Pero the problem also states that the square and the equilateral triangle have equal perimeters. So kung 48 po yung perimeter ng square, dapat 48 din yung perimeter ng ating triangle. And since all three sides are equal, so 48 divided by 3 gives 16 as the length of the side of your triangle. And I hope na we could remember still. The formula for the area of an equilateral triangle, given the value of the length of its side, is actually A is equal to s squared, square root of 3 all over 4. You may search it up, no? In my case, we can derive it, but to save time, hindi ko na po dinerive muna dito. So since the value of the length of a side of the s here, take note po, the s here is different. This one is the side of a square. Ito po, side length po ito ng isang equilateral triangle. Since each side is 16, by substitution, A is equal to 16 squared times square root of 3 over 4 And if we use our calculators, it will give us 64 square root of 3 square units. So yes, letter A po ang tamang sagot. All right. So far, so good. Okay, 34. A certain amount of money was invested at 2% simple interest, and it gained 600 pesos in a span of 4 years. How much in Philippine pesos was invested in? Okay, Sir Chad, Ma'am Sir Crispin, Ma'am Vasquez. Many of you answered letter G. Whoa, I like it. I love it. But let's see if that's correct. Ano nga po pala yung formula natin ng simple interest po? That is I is equal to? Very good. Parang nagwi-whistle ka lang. Okay, parang pito, di ba? PRT, exactly. So, knowing I equals PRT, alam po natin kung ano yung ating interest, no? That's 500. Yung 0.08 po, ito po yung, di ba, 8% interest. 8% when converted to decimal form is 0.08. The time was ilang years ngayon? Saglit po ha. Okay, so sorry for that one. So we have to correct something. Sorry for that. So our interest was 600 based on the problem. Our principal is unknown, so it's P. The rate is 2%. That's why it's 0.02 when expressed in decimal form. And the time is 4 years. Take note, if the time is not in years, it should be converted in terms of years. That's why we have this. And to solve this directly, I don't need the product of 0.02 and 4 kasi P po yung sinosolve natin. So I decided to immediately divide both sides by the product of 0.02 and 4. Our calculators can do the rest, and it's 7,500. Letter D. Okay. And I agree with that. Thank you po, no? To err is human, to forgive is divine. Ano daw? Grabe ka, Sir Chad. Yes. But really, no, I really appreciate po that the corrections. Okay, 7,500 po. Ay tama. 35. After investing 50,000 pesos at 3% simple interest for X years, my money became 53,000 pesos. What is X? Did you go for 2, 3, 5, or 6? Okay, 2 daw. Tignan natin. So for this one, notice po ninyo, no? To get from 50,000, naging 53,000 po siya. Using simple interest po, it actually tells us na yung interest po natin, na yung pera po natin ay tumubo ng 3,000 pesos. And therefore, it means that the interest is the difference of 53,000 and 50,000, which is 3,000 pesos. So now, using the formula, I is equal to PRT. I derive, since we are after of the time, no? I just divided both sides by PR immediately. So the time is equal to the interest divided by the product of the principal amount and the rate of interest. By substitution, that's 3,000 all over 50,000 times 0.03, which is equal to your X, no? Di ba yung time natin yung X? Our calculator tells us, using your calculators, you could see that the value of X is actually 2. Therefore, you invested the said amount for 2 years. Letter A. All right. Next number. Mrs. Salazar would like to buy a refrigerator. Take note po by the way, if you have questions or clarifications, feel free to chat po. Salamat. Sa math na lang po may value ang X. Sir Chad, tumigil ka. Char lang. Biro lang po. Next. Mrs. Salazar would like to buy a refrigerator worth 45,000 pesos. She is required of a down payment of 10,000 pesos and she will pay the rest at 4% interest for 24 months. How much will her monthly payment in Philippine pesos be? A, B, C, or D? Grabe kayo. Letter A. Let's see kung tama yung A na 1,575. Dahil nga nag-down payment ka na, this means that you have to pay 45,000 minus 10,000, which is 35,000 pesos pa, yung need mong bayaran. Which is correct? And sabi kasi sa problem, no, ito yung bibigyan ng interest, yung babayaran mo pa. So that's why this is like the PRT, no? The principal niya na parang 35,000, rate niya na 4%, yung time na 2 years. Bakit 2 years? Kasi 'di ba 24 months yung given? We have to express it in terms of years po. We know that 1 year is 12 months, equivalent to 2 months. That's why to convert months to years, just divide the number of months by 12. So 24 divided by 2 gives us 2. 24 divided by 12 gives us 2, which is 2 years. That's why yung ginamit ko po na time ay 2. And if you simplify this FA, no, yung babayaran mo pa, that would be 37,800 pesos pa po yung babayaran niya. However, nakasaad po sa problem na yung the remaining amount na to, no, na may tubo, na may parang, syempre, no, kasi installment siya, may increase pa siya. This 37,800 will be paid within 24 months. Therefore, her monthly payment will be 37,800 pesos divided by 18, which is 1,575. Letter A. All right. Magaling, magaling, magaling. So tama po kayo. Ako lang ang mali. Char lang. 37. After investing a certain amount of money at 5% simple interest rate for 3 years, my money became 46,000 in all. How much was invested? Did you go for A, B, C, or D? Letter C. Okay, many are convinced. Let's see. Diba? The final amount will be equal to the principal amount plus the interest, which is PRT. So yung ginawa ko po, just like yung dating gawi, no? Sa left side po natin, P is a common factor. Sa right side, P is a common factor. So I will take out the GCF natin, which is P. That's why P divided by P will be 1. PRT divided by P will be RT. That's why I arrived to FA equals P times the quantity 1 plus RT. I need only the value of P. Dividing both sides by 1 plus RT gives us FA all over 1 plus RT equals P. And by substitution po, yung final amount natin is 46,000 pesos all over 1 plus the rate, which is 5%, times the time, which is 3 years, equals P. And using your calculators, that would actually give you 40,000 pesos as the amount you invested. Letter C. All right. If you did, okay, good. 38. How much to the nearest whole number will an amount in Philippine pesos be after 3 years when 50,000 pesos is invested at 2% interest compounded annually? Okay, sabi ni Ma'am Jessa C. At ng lahat ng nag-comment, letter C. Okay. So let's be reminded of this formula for compound interest. So F equals P sub O times the quantity 1 plus R over S. And the whole thing, the 1 plus R over S, is raised to ST. F here refers to the future value of the amount you invested in compound interest. P sub O is the initial amount or the principal amount you invested at first. R is the interest rate. S, it's like the, I don't know, S is 1 if it is annual. S is 2 if it is semi-annual. If it is quarterly, then S is 4. If it is monthly, then S is 12, no? And take note kung ano man po yung S na sa denominator, ito rin po yung S na nasa exponent natin. And the T here is the time which is expressed in terms of years. Kung hindi po siya in terms of years, we really have to divide it or express it, in terms of years po. So sa problem po natin, you invested 50,000. So this one times the quantity 1 plus the interest rate is 2%, no? That's why 0.02. Sabi kasi niya, annually yun, no? Saglit lang po, ha? In the problem, by the way, since it's just annually, so our S has to be 1. That's why it's over 1 times 1 times 3. Which will, when simplified again, no, will become 50,000 times. This is 1.02 raised to 1 times 3 or 3. And using your calculators, it's approximately 53,060. But since 53,060 po is not part of our choices, so the answer here would be letter E. Wow, meron ding sumagot ng E pala, so tama po yung E. Salamat po. 39. How much will an annual amount in Philippine pesos be after 20 years when 10,000 pesos is invested at 3% compounded quarterly? Okay, sabi dito quarterly. So dahil quarterly, it tells us that our S here has to be 4. The time will be 20 years. So T is 20 because it's already in years. 10,000 is your P sub O. And 3% in decimal form will be 0.03. No? So by substitution, it will become F equals 10,000 multiplied by the quantity 1 plus 0.03 all over 4, and it's raised to 4 raised to 20 po. Simplifying yung inside ng parentheses natin, the 1 plus 0.03 all over 4, it's 1.0075. The 4 times 20 is 80. If you encode this 10,000 times 1.0075 raised to 80 in our calculator, it actually gives us an approximate value of 24,279 pesos and 30 centavos. Letter A, ang tamang sagot. And lastly, number 40. A certain product was given successive discounts of 10% and 30% in this order. Overall, the original price of the product was decreased by how many percent? Did you go for 37, 38, 39, or 40? Letter A din ata yung sagot ng 5 tao so far. No? Okay, let's see. I think I was able to give you a similar problem last time. No? I just changed the given. All right. So with that, diba, using the rule last time sa complements, if it is given a 10% discount, meaning you are going to pay 100% minus 10% or 90%, or in decimal will be 0.90. Tapos, sa 30% naman po, will be 100% minus 30%, or that will be 70%, or in decimal will be 0.70. So with that, di ba yung theorem last time is, imumultiply mo itong dalawang to, and their product will be subtracted from 1 and it will give you the direct answer po. So 0.90 times 0.70 is 0.63. 1 minus 0.63 will give you 0.37, or expressing this in percent, just multiply by 100 and attach the percent symbol, or simply move the decimal point 2 places to the right. That would actually give you 37%. Hence, the overall, the original price of the product was decreased by 37%. Letter A. And with that, we end for now. Thank you very much, and a great day to one and all.